Yassine, and we are back, um, and we are we are discussing the commemoration of the commemoration of the Purpose of Life lecture. Now, this lecture, brothers and sisters, just to give you a little bit of background, because I don't know if you were here an hour ago or 2 hours ago. So I'm going to try to cover this here in the very best way that I can. Um, this lecture, The Purpose of Life, was given in 1994 in Saudi Arabia. And I was requested to come to a mosque and deliver a lecture to some non-Muslim guests. And I just didn't want to kind of talk about traditional religious issues. And I knew that most of those invited guests were Christians. And so I didn't want to start out by discussing and comparing Islam and Christianity and all the traditional issues that we cover when trying to present Islam to a Christian audience. So I decided I just wanted to talk about something that was like germane, something that was like uh, easy for all of us, and that was to talk about life and its purpose. So I spent most of the night um, writing, thinking, and I think by the time I finished writing this, the original lecture, um, it was probably like 18 or 19 um, handwritten pages on a yellow tablet, a yellow lined tablet. That the one that's 8 by 14, yeah. So as I can recall, and so was it done spontaneously? Yes, it was. But a lot thought went into it. Um, and when we delivered that lecture, it was like 2.5 hours, if I can recall. Um, that's sometimes just like so amazing to talk for 2.5 hours. But anyway, to my recollection, everyone in that audience, Shahada, uh, everyone in that audience embraced Islam according to what we saw, according to what we experienced. Um, and I don't know why. Uh, to this day, something special that God put in the atmosphere or the environment at that time. My synergy, my energy and theirs and the environment, and those 43 people became Muslims. So that's a little bit of the history. Brothers and sisters, since that time, in the past 27 years, according to uh, research and that my staff has done, according to what they say to me, and they said this like 7 years ago, they said in their estimation that perhaps as many as 75,000 people may have accepted Islam through the purpose of life as a theme or one of the other streams that have come from this lecture, The Purpose of Life. Um, that's not that important for me, that figure. It's a figure. But what's more important to me is that there were so many people in my experience that they didn't take Shahada. For some reason, they were hesitant or they just said, thank you, but I appreciate the lecture, but I'm not going to become Muslim. And I didn't ask people to become Muslims. It wasn't like I was expecting somebody to become Muslim. Um, but the figure that I would like people to think about is that for every person that became a Muslim, embraced Islam through what we did, you or I, there's 5 or 10 other people, they did not become Muslims, but they became our allies. For every one that became a Muslim, there are 5 or 10 that did not. They just became allies. They were enemies and we neutralized them. They were in opposition to Islam because of what they saw in Muslims or what they see in Muslims. For one reason or another, they never became a Muslim, but they became close to Muslims and they became to understand and appreciate Islam and they became allies. So when somebody who's crazy, fanatic, ignorant, angry, prejudiced, sick, extreme, radical, says something about Islam or Muslims which they have no knowledge to really say and is incorrect, that person, that ally, will say, no, you're wrong. It's just stupid what you just said. That's not the case. You don't know anything about Islam. You don't know about the Quran. You don't know anything about Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. You don't know anything about the principles of Islam, the historical sources of Islam. You're just talking, passing on stuff that other people, we call it blog vomit. That's what we call it. We call it blog vomit. Just people vomit. It turns up in a vlog. That's it. And people just take it in, pass it on. Take it in and pass it on. And so, alhamdulillah, I thought to try to address this in this way. There have been, over the 27 years, or the last 30 years, let's say the last 27 years, close to 30, we have traveled to about 97 countries. And everywhere we go, every place we travel to, we found people, non-Muslims and Muslims saying they heard this lecture. Thank you very much for that lecture. So it had some impact upon millions of people around the world. This is again from Allah, bifadlillah. This is from Allah. And then the Purpose of Life as a lecture brought about the Purpose of Life Foundation. And the Purpose of Life Foundation, we have acted as an NGO with other organizations, digging wells, feeding orphans, going to places of devastation, and bringing people food and medicine and clothing and inspiration. And we've done this in at least 9 or 10 countries in the world. In addition to that, the Purpose of Life Foundation, it has traveled around the world, removing misconceptions and distortions, removing misconceptions and distortions about Islam and Muslims. And in that regard, we have lectured in about 51 universities around the world, and at least the same amount of universities in the United States of America. Maybe I think the United States of America, maybe we've lectured in double that amount of universities. We've covered almost every state, with the exception of 6 states. 6 states we didn't cover. I wish I could have. But of the 50 states, we have covered 44 states, and we've lectured in probably at least 100 universities, colleges, public places, mosques, Islamic centers, and usually with one focus, and that is removing misconceptions about Islam and Muslims, and then calling Muslims to their social responsibility. This is sort of like what the Purpose of Life Foundation has done in the United States and around the world. It came from this title, Purpose of Life. And then after that, we set up the Purpose Media, Islamic Information Network, and Purpose Media for the sole purpose of creating a media platform, a set of media resources that could serve Islam and the Muslims. Okay, so please hold, brothers and sisters. I have to lose our power. You know, we have to be like, we gotta be like diversified. If we want to do this work, we have to remain diversified. That is able to do lots of things at one time, choosing between various options and adapting to situations as they develop. That's what we have to do. That's the kind of people we have to be today. That's the kind of Muslims we need to be today. So let me go. Good. So now here we are. At our power, we moving. And let me continue about this commemoration of the Purpose of Life. So the Purpose Media Group was one of the first Islamic channels in Europe. We had a licensed Islamic Information Network, one of the first Islamic channels in the UK. We partnered with another license, which was Challenge. No, I'm sorry. It was, excuse me, it was Channel Islam. Channel Islam. So we partnered with them to create Purpose TV. SubhanAllah. Such a wonderful experience. And of course, that's when we were using satellite. And we went on from there and we just campaigned throughout Europe and Africa and Asia with this platform called Purpose TV, okay, Islamic Information Network, Purpose of Life Foundation, Purpose Media Group, Islamic Information Network. These were LLCs to support the foundation. So it's been a long trip. Purpose Media Group is still intact, and alhamdulillah, we are bringing the information that we are bringing to you now is from the Purpose Media Group. So, brothers and sisters, we want to say something. That this lecture or this theme, Purpose of Life, it gave birth to the Purpose of Life Foundation. Purpose of Life Foundation gave birth to the Purpose Media Group. And the Purpose Media Group also gave birth to the Purpose Community Coalition. The Purpose Community Coalition is like an initiative. It's an outreach from the Purpose of Life Foundation. It's like reaching out to other organizations and professionals, other Islamic centers and other agencies, other resourceful individuals and groups, reaching out and meeting with them, bonding with them, collaborating with them, extending our strength and our influence as a faith-based group, Muslims. That's what it is. It's not to change anybody's perspective on the religion. It's not to argue with anybody's perspective on religion. It's not to even have any kind of repulsion of non-Muslims or Christians or Jews or anybody else with a different scripture or belief. No, it's to kind of look and see what we can benefit from each other. How we can, how can we establish some exchange, reciprocity, engagement, respect, from each other to create a better social environment. I mean, that's essentially what Islam seeks to do in a society: create a better social environment where there's better values and services and resources available for the human beings to improve their lives. That's the maqasid of Islam. Okay. So the Purpose Media Group and the Purpose of Life Foundation, we gave birth to these other things. And here today, we have the Purpose Community Coalition as an extension of 30 years of work. So you work within your own pocket, you work within your own group, you work within your own building, you work within your own capacity, you work under your name and within your own group, and we all have good intentions. However, after 30 years of striving in this same way, 56 years being Muslim, and 30 years of active involvement, we find that there's no solidarity. There's no collaboration. No genuine collaboration. There's no active collaboration. There's no genuine brotherhood, fraternity. There's no genuine interaction, investment, commitment between leaders and organizations and individuals and people of resource and agencies calling themselves Muslims. Not in the United States of America, not in Canada, not in Europe. I don't say that they don't have some projects here and there. But as a structure, they don't have leadership. They don't have clear, defined leadership. You know, if there were 5 major personalities in a country, let's say they're just major personalities with their organizations, 5 major personalities, individuals, leaders within their area or region, but they may be the 5 who have the greatest influence or the major influence to advise the Muslims and affect the Muslims and motivate the Muslims. So these 5 people, we would think that within the last 30 years, that those 5 people who have the capacity to move and motivate, harness the 7 million Muslims in the United States of America, those 5 people would have been selected. They would have been nominated, and they would have been affirmed, and they would have been selected, and maybe then elected. So then you have a leadership group. They're not absolute leaders, but a leadership group that generally it came through some kind of consensus, through some kind of process that we can easily establish where we are living at today. It came that these 5, not 10, not 15, not 20, but it came that these 5 have the most influence among the Muslims, the wide spectrum of the Muslims. You know, those who are like, those who might be like 10 years old and those who may be 70 years old. Those leaders and their constituencies and their in their regions or whoever they are should be determined, it should be researched. And then those 5 should be pushed. It should be pushed. And we don't mean physically pushing. We mean urging. Advising these people that they have to come together and they have to come up with a process of representation, an executive representation of the Muslims. And through that, an agency can be set up in that agreement that has the scope to be able to harness the services and the resources and the representation and the sensitivities of the Muslims in the United States of America. Now that's like 7 million. We could start with a city like New York where there are 1 million. That's right. that figure came out of one of the studies done by one of the past mayors of New York, who happens to be a media mogul. His name was Bloomberg. So in one of the Bloomberg reports, they said there are 1 million Muslims, and this is a news agency. There are 1 million Muslims. Maybe there's more. So many Ahmeds and Mohammeds, and maybe there's more. But they said 1 million. So if we could consolidate the 1 million Muslims in New York, their products and their services and their needs and their sensitivities and their statistics, and if we could organize them, because we have an executive leadership, then this could set the pattern. You see, this could set the pattern for Philadelphia, for Boston, for DC. I mean, for the DMV area, for Florida, for Atlanta, Georgia, for North Carolina and South Carolina, and for Virginia, Maryland. It could set the pattern, and these are just the Northeast, Southeast. That's not the Midwest. That's not the Pacific side of the country. That's not Hawaii. That's not Alaska. This is just the Southeast and Northeast cities of the United States of America, where there are 2 million of the 7 million Muslims. See? That's what we're talking about now, the Purpose Community Coalition. So all of this came out of this theme. And so, brothers and sisters, this is some questions that came. It's a great legacy. It's been a long road. The Purpose of Life is a lecture. The Purpose of Life Foundation, the Purpose Media Group, the Purpose Community Coalition, and we have to mention in this that this didn't come by myself or just without assistance and help, and a wide range of people who assisted in supporting and insulating and perpetuating, documenting. There've been so many relationships and so many people that we have to be really grateful, because whatever we're saying, it is because of them. We had a thought or an idea, or we had a volition, we had a feeling, and we wrote something and we spoke something, and we're still speaking something, but it's those people who contributed. And that's why we're asking you, brothers and sisters, we're asking you to, oh, that's right. I'm sorry. They told me, Sheikh, you have to do this thing, what they call it, cancel. Okay. They told me, Sheikh, you got to do this. Rotate is locked. Rotate DV device back. Okay, sorry. Can't do that. Whoever was advising me, my phone is not allowing me to do that. So sorry, I can't. What you asked me, I can't do that. Okay. So I'm going to stay on what I'm right now. It's the vertical view as opposed to the landscape view. And I know we can do more with the landscape. It's a lot more aesthetic, cinematic. But we'll just have to work with it the way it is, because the OG, if he mixed too many things up, maybe we're going to lose the transmission itself. So let me move forward and ask, by the way, brothers and sisters, along with this broadcast that I'm doing, there's information being given to you, that's being provided for you. It's right there. You go to our Facebook Live page, and you see everything is right there. All the who, what, why, where, when, how you can do this. What this is about, where you can get it, what's connected to it. Everything is there, and you will find all the ways by which you can support. Very easy. You can make a one-time donation, of $19.99, one time. You can just make, because you want to do something, give a one-time donation of $19.99, and if you're in the United States, send it by Zelle, and the number's there. And if you're in the United States or you're in the UK, you can send it by Cash App. Everything is right there. If you're anywhere in the world, you go to KhalidYassim.com, or you go to purposeco.org, purposeco.org, or KhalidYassim.com. You go there and you will see how you can support, how many different ways you can support. You can support by subscription. You can give you can give a one-time contribution of support. You can take a subscription, which is even better because you're getting something. We've created 3 different types of subscriptions for you. I think one is $9.99, the other one is like $19.99, and the other one I think is like $29.99. I'm not sure. You go look and you see. But we've created some subscriptions that are very clear of what we give to you, the services we render to you in response to your subscription. Our gratitude and our response is to give you the services or the products that you are asking for and that you need. Vital services and products that we have developed. Purpose of Life Foundation, Purpose Media Group, Purpose of Life, Purpose Community Coalition, JamSam Technical Group, and others, and Al Hirs Institute. We have come together and brought our services and our products together, and then we offer this to our members, people who support us. We do what's called reciprocity. So, of course, we prefer you to support us through subscription because this is ta'awun, wa ta'awanu ala birr. This is ta'awun. This is supporting each other. Or you can just give a one-time contribution. You're still supporting us. Or you can become a sponsor with us. We are touring. We are working, doing programs like this here. We expect we expect to get in the 5 cities that we are touring in the next 8 weeks. We expect to have 5 to 7 million. I think they call that exposures. So your product, your service, your card, your name of your company, or whatever it is, can go with us for this 90 days. Be with us. We get exposure, you get exposure. We're doing our job and you are also with us. It's called sponsorship. You'll get the reward of what we're doing, and also it's an issue of business. So it's, again, reciprocity. You can take out an advert with us, and I will personally support your advert with my voice or with my mind or with my person, with a brand or with our companies. We will support your business. Let us do an advert for you. All of that you can go to KhalidYassim.com, and you can see that information is all there for you. Listen, also the JamSam company, technology company, an amazing company with a fantastic, just unbelievable. And I'm talking as like a non-tech guy. I'm just talking about like somebody who, like, I looked at the tutorials, I saw, I listened, and watched. It took me about 6 months really to appreciate this software portfolio that they have, JamSam. Took about 6 months to appreciate it. Looking at all the little clips and the tutorials and all that, so I can be familiar with something that I am connected to, something that I am using, something that I am a partner with, something that I'm collaborating with. I need to be familiar. I'm not the Mercedes company, but if I have a Mercedes vehicle, I need to read the manual. I need to read the manual. I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know what kind of vehicle I have and how I should maintain that vehicle. So in that regard, brothers and sisters, this JamSam company has a number of life-changing, career-changing, industry-changing software, which will be in the hands of the Muslims, which is in our hands, but can be in the hands of the Muslims just like that, because of technology is able to spread just like that. And when that happens through technology, we change the way that we interact with society. Where we were just consumers, now we don't have to be the consumers. We own the technology, so we can share it. We can we can benefit from the technology and we can share it. So now we're not simply just consumers. So we change our social profile. This is the kind of company that Jamsam is. And so we entered a joint venture with Jamsam, and we are telling you, look into this software company. You know, if you are an investor, you're looking for a dynamic, cutting edge business with huge ROI, then this is Jamsam. Jamsam, Jamsam. You know, we have showcased some of their products and their services for you. It's attached to this presentation. So take a look at that. So, and go to Al Hirz Institute, ALHIRZ Institute. Go there. See the work of Sheikh Okasha Kemanei. See his work. See what he has done. See what he has produced in terms of certified Islamic knowledge and the tutorials on the Quran, on the Arabic language, you know, on Islamic certification and knowledge. See the work he has done, that he is doing. This is another one of our one of the companies that we have collaborated with, that we are engaged in a joint venture with. And we promote each other and we support each other. The whole aim is to make it easy, you know, make it easy. As the Prophet ﷺ told Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu, he said, when you go to a people, make it easy. فَيَسِّرُوا وَلَا تُعَصِّرُوا. Make it easy for them and not difficult. فَبَشِّرُوا وَلَا تُنَفِّرُوا. And bring them good messages and don't frustrate them. This is what the Prophet ﷺ told Mu'adh ibn Jabal. And he also says, وَتَعَاوَنُوا, and to join them together. وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. And don't break them apart. So, you know, we are doing our best as a group of companies and agencies, you know, who have a similar vision. We're doing our best to share amongst each other and then bring things together and bring it to you. So, this is what came out of the Purpose of Life lecture. Purpose of Life Foundation, Purpose Media Group, Purpose Community Coalition. So here we are discussing this lecture, and it would probably be appropriate for me to answer a few questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a chance to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and do whatever you may have to do, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to answer 10 questions that people asked me about this lecture, The Purpose of Life. 10 questions. So you come back and maybe you got a question. See, look, all this interactive stuff, I don't know how to do all of that. Some of these buttons that I'm supposed to push, I don't know how to do that yet. I'm trying, I'm learning. You know, keeping the light correct and making the sound correct, and making sure you got data, and making sure you got all the stuff is powered up, you know, and all these things you got to be thinking about if you're going to be going live. So I hope that my live transmission is at least acceptable, even if it is not of high level. I hope that it is acceptable. So I'm coming back to you. In the meantime, take this 5 minutes, you know, to support the work that we are doing. Take 5 minutes and support the work that we are doing. If you're in the United States of America, just send us a Cash App. It's right there. It's the $ SKYVIEWZ, Skyviews, the $. And then SKY, Sky, VIEWZ, Skyviews. That's our Cash App. And you can send by Zelle. You can just go to Zelle. And if you're in the United States of America, our Zelle is identified by phone number, and that's 571-260-3387. That is 571-260-3387. So those are the two ways that you can contribute if you're in the United States of America. If you want to support our work, this legacy, this vision, this commemoration that we are doing, this ongoing work, this long road. If you want to support it, that's how you can do it if you're in the United States. And if you're in the UK, you can also use Cash App. However, you can also go to KhalidYassin.com right now. We put together a very beautiful site. Very beautiful. You can go to purposeco.org. Purposeco.org. So you go to KhalidYassin.com, or you can go to purposeco.org, and then you can see all the things that we're doing and what we offer, and the different options that you can take in terms of subscription. And if you want to be a sponsor, you can be a sponsor. We're supposed to sponsor each other, help each other. We don't say for free. No, we help each other in doing good. And we pay for each other's products and services and support. And everybody is able to benefit from collaboration and support. So you could become a sponsor. We could also make an advert for you, as we talked about before. All these are things that you can do. So in the 5 minutes that we are away from you, please think about how you can support this work. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.